Hey everyone, I'm here at SHOT Show 27, or excuse me, not SHOT Show.
Okay,
let's try that again. I'm here at TriggrCon 2017, not SHOT Show.
Yep.
I'm here at the INFORCE booth. As you guys have probably seen on my channel, I have run into some issues with the earlier generations of these lights. I had a WML that cracked on the body, and the APL, the mounting system, broke. Full disclosure, as a former crew chief, I'm probably pretty prone to over-torquing things, so that was probably part of it. And I want to say also, if you guys followed the process of that, even when I got the light back, it was probably the best customer service experience I've ever had. I talked to someone pretty much right away. They responded to me very quickly, and they gave me a reference number and got the light sent off, got it back within a very reasonable amount of time, way better than some other companies I've dealt with. So again, I've had issues in the past, but just recently you guys have been kind of renovating your line with new materials, with a very similar design, which is good because, as you guys know in the videos I've done before too, the design is something I love. It's very sleek, it's very low profile, very ergonomic. So seeing these in the new materials is awesome. So let's start with the WMLs. What do we have for the WMLs?
So we kept the same model numbers. It's the WML and the WMLX. The WML is a single battery, 400 lumens, 2-hour runtime. Although it looks similar, the whole body and shape has changed. The material has changed, the rubber has changed, the switches have changed, the knob has changed, the clamping system, well, that's the same, but different aluminum. Everything has changed. So what we did is we looked at it, and like you said, what do your customers say? What do the customers want? What are the feedback that's coming from them? How can we constantly improve the product? And that's what we did. So everything from the Gen 1 and Gen 2 area was flushed out, started over, and started with the material change, which is probably the biggest difference between anything. When you start looking at these were screwed in before. Now it's a cam system. The rubber on the back has changed. There's some gripping here. There's some grooves here. This has gone from a lever now to a cam, so it's a lot easier. You still have the momentary and the constant on functions.
It seems a lot more positive in each position.
It is. You can hear it, you can feel it when you move it. It stays there, it does not come loose. But the output has changed, so it's up to 400 lumens now off a single cell. When you move to the WMLX, all the same features apply. Everything that we found and put into the WML, we put into the WMLX. Again, the cams, the system, the clamps, everything. But this is 800 lumens for about 2 hours. It gives you a very nice tight beam. There's plenty of peripheral, there's plenty of side spill, so you can really reach out there and tell somebody with.
Awesome. And you were saying that those are available also with IR as well?
They are. They're both they both come in white and IR versions.
Awesome. If you can, it's always good to have your lights, one light, be able to do both, so you're not having to bolt a whole bunch of stuff to your rifle. So I really like that. As you guys know, also I had the APL, like I mentioned. It's my favorite carry light. I've tried carrying with the TLR1s, way too big. I've tried carrying with the Surefires, way too big, was uncomfortable. This was the most comfortable thing I ran into. So again, with them changing the materials, that's awesome. These have been out for a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit about your new APL series?
So much like the WML and WMLX series, we listened to what the our consumers had to say, and we threw everything out and started over. Okay, not that we had to, but we wanted to. We wanted a fresh start and said, how do we make this better? Scoop the nuts, start over. So again, material change, number one. The activation is actually the only thing that we kept. How you turn the light on. But you can see, I don't know if you can see it here, we put some stippling right into it, so it gives you a nice positive grip in there. Your finger's not going to be slipping off. This is a hybrid. This is actually aluminum up here where it connects to the rail, and this is a nylon material. We've changed the bezel, we've changed the glass, we've changed the LED, we've changed the reflector, we've changed the electronics, all for the better. So when I say we looked at everything, we really did. I mean, every single component and every single part. These all go through thousands of rounds of testing, both live fire and in the lab on the machine. We have some cool new videos coming out showing the type of testing we do in-house and really beating these things up. I don't know if anyone else is doing it in the industry. Some pretty slick stuff will be out in about a month, so we'll see.
Awesome.
So it's still a single cell, but it's up to 400 lumens now.
Okay. Now what about your compact APL?
So the compact APL, this has been out just probably about 2 months now. The one that's out on the market now is specifically designed for the Glock pistols. Glock has a little bit different width on the rail, and their spacing where they put their little lug is different than what you'll see on MPs or SIGs or anything like that. Sure. So the operation is the same as far as click on or hold for momentary. But the same things that we learned from the APL, we put directly into here from the start. the material, the hardware, everything. Okay. So this is a CR2 battery. I'll give you about 90 minutes of light, and it's 200 lumens.
Okay. And one thing I want to mention about these APL, excuse me, is if you already have a light-bearing holster for your APL, because they did completely start basically from the ground up, other than the activation system, it may or may not work with your holster. So that's something to keep in mind. So ideally, if you have a friend who has one, borrow it, see if it fits before you go out and buy another holster.
Or check with the holster maker, wherever you made it. They'll have a better idea.
But honestly, I would rather them redesign from the ground up to make it more bomb-proof than to try to force it into what was already there just to keep it in my same holster.
Be smart, be safe, get your holster.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what we're debuting right here at TriggrCon is it's another APL compact. Looks the same, but it's very, very different. The material same, operation same, just like the APL-C and the APL. But this one is specifically made for 1913 rail pistols. There are a few exceptions where people are putting the APL compact block model on some other guns. We don't recommend it, but it does seem to fit. But this one is done specifically for 1913 rail pistols. So your SIGs, your Smiths, you name it, it will go out there, it will fit.
Awesome. So again, if for those of you before who are familiar with how they set these up, some people I know were having some issues with getting it to align properly, or it was a little too far for them. So having it dedicated is good.
Correct.
For those of you who are going to say, well, I'd rather have this light because it's universal, I would rather have something dedicated, because if it's on my gun, it's dedicated to that gun, so that's a non-issue for me. You guys also have handheld lights too.
Right, so we've done handhelds in the past. We had the 6VX, the 9VX, the 6VT, a couple different lights. What we've done, whatever we did with the pistol lights and rifle lights, we're applying to everything we do now. So ground up, material, LED, optics, you name it, we're doing it. 700 lumens, 2 batteries, 2-hour runtime. You have 2 options for switches. You'll have an electronic switch that will do high-low strobe, or you'll have a mechanical only switch that will give you a momentary only. I really like.
That's awesome. That's something that's been severely lacking in the light industry. And one thing I can say too that I like about these, granted I haven't used it so I can't say definitively one way or the other, but I like the way that this end cap is a little bit more tapered. I know some people like to be able to tail stand their lights. That's not something I care about. What I do care about is my lights totally destroying my cargo pocket. If I could show you my pocket right here, literally every pocket I have on all my pants, there's a big old hole with the end of a flashlight sticking out because it always chews through my pockets. This doesn't look like it's going to do that. Between not having the metal parts jagging out and having it a little bit more tapered, that seems like it's going to be a more plausible option for me to not have to replace my shorts every few months.
So these will be out sometime September is our best guess.
Okay.
So just a few weeks.
So definitely by the end of the year though.
Yes, for sure. For sure.
Shipping in time for holiday season.
You got it.
To get your husband or significant other some fancy tactical equipment. So I definitely want to give my appreciation to INFORCE for listening to their customers, recognizing, hey, there is an issue here, and taking that and running with it and making what seems to be improved products. Again, I don't have firsthand experience with them, but early reports from other people I've seen have been overwhelmingly positive. There's a lot of companies out there who, when their customers have issues, they do everything they can to brush it under the rug, completely ignore it, and just pretend like nothing ever happened. So I appreciate the INFORCE is recognizing that, and they really built these from the ground up to make them better using new materials, in some cases new mounting materials, and just kind of all around making a better light and offering more to us as consumers. So I really appreciate that. So if people wanted to find out more about your specific product line, pricing, availability, where can they find that?
I think go right to our website, www.inforce-mill.com. Everything's on there. It's a brand new website, very intuitive to use, chock full of information.
Awesome. Well, again, I'll have all the links below so you guys can check out all that stuff. I'm definitely excited to see how these perform and see how they stand the test of time. But thank you for talking to us. Thank you for walking us through the product line. And check out INFORCE below. And thanks again for watching.